Let's get ready for this. Alright, guys. Thank you so much for coming. This is Fridays with xhu98 number 40. Also, the uh, the final episode for season 4. It's been a great period of 10 weeks, and thank you so much for participating. We've had a lot of guests and a lot of fun stuff on Twitch planned for you. I know it's been kind of stressful for some people, but we all are pretty much, and I'm just happy to keep the show going. Uh, Over the few weeks, we've had quite a few impressive uh, guest reviewers, and today with us is our old friend Mark5000.
Oh, hello everyone.
Some people already heard you from the pre-show stuff, but yeah, how are you doing?
Things are good. It's 5 o'clock here in sunny California. Actually, it rained
Ha,
today, which is a great blessing.
is it the drizzle?
Yeah, it was a drizzle. Now it's just pretty overcast, which is good. All summer it's going to be free of clouds, I'm sure.
Yay.
Do you want to
Well,
eat dinner with that?
No.
No?
okay.
Yeah.
So we put the ball in.
Well, I mean, it's pretty rainy here and kind of wet. Not so warm, but it'll be heading towards the better direction, I guess. Um, yeah. All right. So, I don't know how are people doing. I hope your week has been going well. I know this is just uh this is about the 500th time I've postponed the Friday show to Saturday, but it's kind of difficult. I have to do it, but um, hopefully things will get back on track. Um, Someone just said time to invest in a good microphone. Wait. Oh no. Can you not? Wait. Am I not very audible? I do have a pretty good microphone. It's just that people told me that uh, it hasn't been working well. That's why uh, it yeah, I know it could be better. But hey, is this loud enough for you guys to hear? Yeah, probably. I hope this is better. Um, hold on.
I'm sure you're doing your very best.
It seems alright in my Skype settings. Let me just check my OBS. It, I feel like it should be alright. Yeah, but anyways, I've been I've been putting off this for quite a few weeks because I have mainly because I have Saturday classes and I need to get myself together, organizing a couple of things. As you guys know, the May Nova League is starting soon, and I have this Rengo World Cup going on. But yeah, thank you so much for coming. And before we start, Mark, is there anything you wish to advertise?
Um, no, but we do need commercials. We can monetize this show by outsourcing commercials.
Um, well, what about your series?
Oh, that one?
Yeah.
Everyone knows where to find it. It's on the forums. Becoming 9Q. There's material in there intended to help beginning players from 25 to about 15Q reach the 9Q enviable single-digit Q status rank. So that's what it's for. It's got 8 feature lessons in there right now. It's got a 9th one coming on Shape as soon as I can get my act together, hopefully next weekend.
Awesome.
And
Yeah,
that's what it's
so
for.
you planning a lecture, I don't know, tonight or next week?
It could be tonight. I've had a problem getting banner ads for it. But if
Nice.
we can get a banner, then I'd like to do it.
Yeah, but usually banner attracts a lot of people on OGS. It's always a
Yeah,
good thing.
but for beginning players, and obviously for all players, shape is very important. If you know good shapes, then, or you can often tell the strength of players just by looking at the shapes they make in the early middle game. It can be quite telling.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, Enumerous just said, I only see your forehead. Yeah, I'm sorry. My webcam is mounted on my laptop, so I don't know. I have to be very careful to not just show my forehead. All right, so I hope this looks fine. Let me just check actually. All right, so I mean, uh, okay, what are we gonna do? So I already promised to you guys that we're going to review this Rengo game, which just ended. Um, it was a game between USA Maryland and Israel Jordan. Um, it was very interesting, and I had to say, it was pretty epic. Lots of uh, exciting fighting, I guess. I thought this game was going to end earlier, but it eventually ended up being a tense battle, which is always a good thing. Um, and entertaining to watch, of course. Now, in the first game of this tournament, we had a game between USA, Arkansas, and New Mexico versus can't remember versus Team Israel, which is another team. Um, and that game was very interesting as well. We ended up having a 2.5 point margin for the winner. So yeah, if you want to check that out, just search it in the server library or go to our forums thread on the tournament. So yeah, this has been pretty thrilling, and I don't know. Let's see. I'm going to create a review from here. Mark, you're in USA, California, right?
Yes, paired with player Nados.
Mm-hmm.
And we're in the first seed of that, I think. We haven't played any of our games yet because scheduling has just been a nightmare.
Yeah. Well, don't worry about that too much because you have 4 months for the first
Yeah,
three
there's
games.
plenty of time to spare.
Yeah, and but I don't know. I'm in the seat number 2 team, and I'm starting to feel a little bit of pressure because
Good.
anything can really happen in this tournament, and yeah, which is obviously good. We do have to play our absolute bests in order to win. Um, my team has a relatively large rank gap, so that could be a challenging thing to overcome.
Do you think that's going to alter your style, whether you play more solidly?
I think so. Like for some of the moves in Rengo, I'm going to you always have to think about your teammate. Uh it's sort of like a teamwork instead of personal heroism. You can't just like you can't just like only focus on your style. You have to think about like what your teammate might uh infer from your moves.
Exactly.
It's especially because I have such an eccentric playing style. I just have to curve it a little bit.
There's nothing wrong with eccentric.
I don't know. What do you think?
About your style?
About like this I don't know, collaboration thing in Rengo.
Oh yeah, it's great fun. Obviously, if you can try to mesh your styles, it would be good. Fargo and I were playing. Fargo Two Don and I were playing a Rengo game against Team Maryland actually, just yesterday. It was an informal practice game,
Mm-hmm.
but we found that our styles were kind of colliding into each other in a pretty big way.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that if you have the strength and awareness to notice what your opponent is trying to do, then you can try not to counter with your own plan, but try to assist them with the plan that they're hoping to get. Maybe you can help them find the right moves to accomplish their plan. But the working togetherness can help more than hurt the game, I think.
Yeah.
Because if you play an awesome Tsuji and they don't read what you're reading, then it's gonna fall apart more likely than not.
Yeah, it's kind of like ruined, right? I actually played a practice game with my teammate Arc Paladin as well, and it was a pretty interesting game. We actually lost, and I did see, I don't know, a lot of challenges we have to face in the upcoming tournament, because there I tried to make plans for the game, but they didn't succeed, really. So we'll, I hope we'll get better with more practice. That's for sure. Uh, but yeah, generally for Ringo teams, I do think there is practice needed, just for like getting to know each other's playing styles and uh, like
Yeah, yeah,
learning.
yeah.
Yeah, right.
It sort of reminds me of the I forget what year it was, but the United States sent a team to the Olympics in the sport of basketball, and it was made of all-star players. You know,
Mm-hmm.
the top free throw player from one team, the top defense blockers from the other team, and you put them all together and you send them off to the Olympics, and they actually do awful in this one year. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and I think we tried an experiment on the subsequent year that we just take the highest scoring team in the NBA and send them to the Olympics in the next year, and we got a gold in that year. And it's just like if you take players who are a bit weaker overall, but who know how to work well together, then you're going to be stronger for it. Even stronger than if you paired all the strongest players together.
Yeah, and I
So
think
synergy is important.
yeah, that's actually pretty true in just like not only in Rengo but like, in like team sports in general, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Mm-hmm. So, um, I don't know. I try to rank the teams by the average strength. That's really what I could only do, but I don't know. We'll see. Hope may the strongest team win. All right,
Oh
so
yeah,
let's
and there's no excuse for suiciding a group.
yeah, that's well, anything could really happen in Rengo, and which makes this tournament exciting because we never know who's gonna win, right?
Hmm.
And anything could really happen, and often does. All right, let's actually look at the game and see what happened. So, in this game, and by the way, I'm in this review. I don't know if you can see it. Um, all right, so in this game, USA Maryland played as black, and Israel Jordan played as white. Um,
And the lower ranked players are playing first in the sequence
yes, and I also
for
think
both
is
sides.
yeah, it's
Okay.
also sort of like a ladies first uh order, because Tin and Herbie played first.
Oh, that's an interesting coincidence.
Yeah, in their respective teams. So it's always
Oh, cool.
it's always great to see them playing. And um, I think in our game I let uh, Arch Paladin play first as well. So I don't know if that's the best strategy, but I feel like it's always it's. I put a
Well,
lot of
it's
faith. I put a lot of faith into him, and I felt that's really good.
right. It's conventional. It's tradition to let the weaker players play first, or the lower ranked players, to be more accurate.
Mm-hmm. All right. So, okay, black actually started with Niren Sei or um, two star point stones on the same side, and white
Which is
followed.
one of my favorite openings. I don't
Mm-hmm.
think it gets enough rapport in the professional circles. I know there are some pro players who play it, like especially the top female players. I know Rui Naiwei, 9P from China, plays Niranse very often. Choi
Mm-hmm.
Jung, 5 Dan professional player from Korea, she plays Niranse very often. I know, obviously, Takamiya Masaki. He's very famous for his center-oriented style,
Mm-hmm.
uh, a
And
so-called
and
Cosmic Go.
and he's like the master of doing that.
Right, he plays Niranse basically every game. He's black. And I know Guli 9P from China used to play Sanrense and Niranse very often. Not so much recently, but used to.
Yeah. I I remember playing a lot of like Nirinse and Sarinse, um, in my early years. It's a pretty stylish opening, and I think I still admire sort of like the philosophy and influential focus of it. It's interesting. Okay, so I haven't actually looked at this game yet, but.
Oh, don't say that. You're supposed to fake it, man.
I usually just improvise. I'm not even joking. Oh, and by the way, people asked in Twitch chat if we can see the chat. So yeah, that is absolutely true. You can ask questions in Twitch chat or OGS chat. I posted the link to the review we're in the Twitch chat, so you can join either one. It's depends on which one you prefer. But yes, we'll check the questions periodically.
Right. Well, Sivart makes a good point. He says that it's because the current trend is territorial that Niranse isn't played as much.
Yeah.
That may be true depending on your frame of reference. Compared to the Edo period of Japanese Go with Hunimbo Shusaku,
Mm-hmm.
and Dosaku and Jowa and all of the old ancients from Japan, their style was extremely territorial. They would play 5-3 and 3-4 points basically all of the time.
Mm-hmm.
And compared to them, Go Seigen and Takamiya Masaki have made great contributions to opening theory, and modern Go is more influential compared to those.
Yeah.
But I think when Go Seigen came along and started the Shinfuseki period in Japan with Kitani Minoru, 9P, and others,
Mm-hmm.
then the style started to become radically influential, where
Yeah.
people were experimenting with Tengen and 5-4 and 4-4. Um, of those, really only 4-4 is still commonly played today. But ever since the 4-4 point became the
Mm-hmm.
standard and Takamiya Masaki started to move off of the Japanese top professional scene in the 80s and 90s, then the style has settled down and the pendulum started to swing slightly the other way. So I think now we're starting to see a slightly territorial emphasis in professional Go.
Mm-hmm. But it's I don't know. Sometimes is they also some pros also want a mix of influence and territory, right?
Right.
That's sort of like my preference, even though I'm not a pro. But
Right,
yeah.
and I think that the balance in Go is definitely important, and you see that in professional play too.
Uh-huh.
The most common professional openings are the Chinese, Orthodox, and mini Chinese, and all of those start with 1-4-4 point and 1-3-4 point. It's very well balanced.
Right.
And Sivert also asks, is 4-4 only a recent standard? It was pretty much unheard of until about the 1930s. And after the 1930s, it started to become a standard opening move.
Yeah. And
And that's about
actually
all I have to say about it.
actually before that 4-4 was considered offensive. As well as even like 3-3 or Tengen, because if you remember, like, what was that famous game? Honimbo Shusai versus Go Seigen. He basically just broke Go Seigen just broke the convention of opening theory pretty much, because the Honimbos were very prestigious and they're well known in the Go world, but
Right. I think it's a testament to how little the opening that you choose actually influences the game.
right.
I think every one of us would agree that a 4-4 point, a 3-3 points, and Tengen is an inferior opening to just about every named opening that exists.
Yeah.
Nevertheless, Go Seigen was able to use his incredible fighting skill and creativity to make it a very close game in the end.
Yeah.
I think he only lost by 2 points, and that was before Komi.
And they came up with the super move, right? The Honimbo family. But
You
yeah,
might say that.
um, that was a pretty iconic game, and yeah, it's always good to see the evolution of opening patterns. Right now, we're experimenting with even like stones on the 5th line or the 6th line. Some pros go creative and even play on the 7th or 8th line, and I don't know. Maybe it's gonna become the norm, and that's
No,
we'll see.
it's not happening.
Not happening in my time. But yeah, it's always good to see people breaking the old standard patterns and like trying out new stuff. That's what makes Go beautiful, in my own opinion.
Right, exactly. I always encourage creativity, both with my students and also just with anyone. Have some fun with it. Don't be locked in by Joseki. I tell everyone Joseki is only Joseki in the absence of other stones that influence things. So if there's at least one stone on the board besides your Joseki, then maybe you should think about abandoning the Joseki. Play something that makes more sense in the context of what you've got.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So okay, let's see. What did Black play here? So I moved 9. Black played the 1 space low pincer.
Which is a great move. I really like it on this board, personally.
Especially because Black has got a style at Q16. This pincer seems to work fine, right?
Mm-hmm.
And
Of course, other moves are possible.
I expected something like 3-3. That might be a good choice for White. Just to get a corner, and Black
Yes.
Black can then go on to build something on the top side, maybe the approach at F17, or more conservatively the enclosure at O17. I would personally play at F17 next, but I think
Are
this.
you me? So that's the same thing I was looking at. I think diving into the corner here for me, I consider it sort of the default Joseki. I know a lot of people like to jump as their default way, but I think diving into the corner is usually better.
I feel like you would agree, because you told me once that you don't like just enclosures; they're a little bit passive, right?
Yeah. What are you getting at here?
So I thought you would prefer like F17 over Black O17 instead.
Oh yeah. Oh, don't play O17. Oh god. No, Go Seigen showed us why that's a bad. It's too slow.
Yeah, sort of, and I think I agree with you on that occasion. And yeah, but still, I think this opening is pretty acceptable for both, and we see what White actually played in the game.
Right. On this kind of board, if you go to if you play the corner Joseki and you enclose with O17, then White could very well pincer at H3 and attack the unsettled group.
Yeah, so if White plays at H3, black will pretty much have to go into the corner at c3, and then
Probably e3 and do the Joseki that results from that.
yeah. Well, I think he could afford answering at c4, because if black doesn't respond, then white can. Okay, if white plays at c4, black. I don't see a way for black to tanuki here really. Because white can do example like black tanukis. I don't know, something random. Then white can hane at b3, and somewhere in the future this could really be a problem for black. His corner is not entirely alive yet, so he could afford, white could afford to block at c4. Okay, black might live in the corner, and territorially that's decent, but white's got an extra stone at h3, and in the future this O4 seems pretty delicious to me. Could be a source of territory
yes.
for white. So let me just label this.
Right. I haven't
Yeah.
come across c4 in many professional games. I think most of the time, if you play h3, then you're committed to playing e3 later. That's what I tend to see. It usually occurs in the mini Chinese or Orthodox variations when that sort of Joseki is played.
Yeah. So
But it seems good here too. I don't know.
okay.
It's
So
another game. We've made a rabbit trail just as long as the game thus far.
okay. So actually, in the game, white jumped out, and that's interesting.
It's a good move too.
So in case we haven't covered this earlier, oh, okay. Let me just actually read the questions. Oh yeah, Komoro said, and the guy had the whole school helping him. That was Honemo Shusai. Yeah, and one of his disciples actually came up with the move. School of it was a Joseki. Oh, are you guys talking about the jumping out Joseki? It could be. Well, it's always good to play this one out. So, there are a few moves black could take after white q9. One of them is to extend at r9, if I recall correctly, and pretty much jump out. That could be one of the
Right.
options.
There's three Joseki that can result from black, depending on what black wants to play. Another one would be r5.
Yeah.
And then white closes at r9. And black hanes underneath with s6. And white r7. And black can either link up or tanuki.
Yeah. That's one of them. So
Sivert wants the... let me make a variation. You can continue.
Oh, okay. Do you want me to give you the control?
No.
Oh, I just gave you anyway.
Oh, you sucker. All right, you're gonna have to put up with this. Okay, so if we do this one, we're doing this here.
Oh yeah.
Either here or here, depending on what you want.
Does the ladder work for? Oh, it does work. All right.
Right.
Well,
so this is what I'd be looking at, I think.
The problem with that is black can get a free move somewhere. For example, like r15.
Yes, definitely. So we got r15 as a ladder breaker, and white will play something to break the ladder.
Yeah.
A cool move like this, probably. And white's taking. Let me see if I can mark something. White's taking a good chunk of territory down here, and it's aiming forward into the center, so to speak. So we're going this way.
That's a good arrow.
let's see, White's making some territory here, and you can see the dotted line out here for the influence White's projecting. It seems like Black is more territorial. If I can dot with squares, and I'm just going to litter this board with points. But we've got this territory that's firmly Black's.
You can
Black's
use
likely getting the territory over here,
you can use the color pens.
and then something here. Right, but I mean, this is really what Black is aiming at. Black probably isn't even getting that point. So on this kind of board, it would be my style to prefer White. But if you like Black, if you're a more territorial player, that's fine too. Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah. So I feel like Black will probably play f7 next, 17 next, the approach after your variation. But yeah,
yes, for sure.
I feel it's a pretty fair game, and we actually see a lot of this sequence in professional play recently.
Oh, by the way, I think Tanufiel was interested in the moves that I liked. I like move 1, I like move 5, I like move 9, and I like move... yeah, so I like all the moves that have been played thus far by player Tanufiel, for what it's worth.
Yeah, and to mention this, so in your variation, so like after e3...
You've got control now.
Okay. Alright, so... Where am I? Oh, wait. Okay, here we are. So, White's got e3. And if White doesn't want the free move by Black at r15 or somewhere there, he could actually choose to extend at f5. Now that just basically eliminates Black's option of getting a free move in the upper right corner. The problem with this move is it allows more activity for Black's stone at g4. He might just pull this out and start a fight, and it could be a good running battle. But White also gets advantage by not allowing Black to defend his upper right corner. So in the future, he could invade somewhere at s15 or something like that. So Black's top right territory is not rock solid just yet. So that's one of the options.
Right.
Alrighty. So, okay, let's... Wait, did people post new questions?
Not really.
Okay. Someone shared that one. Alright. So yeah, hopefully we've answered the questions. And yeah, if you ask me, I like move 1, 5, 9, and let's see, 13. That's interesting.
Yeah, 13 should be one of the 3 Joseki choices. I'm not sure about the Tanuki here. And it's a weird place to Tanuki also. Black has the O4 and Q4 stones, which are high, and the normal Joseki, when you descend into the corner, ends at J3, which is low. I think having the balance of 2 fourth line stones and 2 third line stones would be good in this case. If you wanted to play high, normally it's safer to do H4. But if you make the exchange of D2 for, well, in this case, D2 for White Tanuki, then you really shouldn't come back to J4. You should make J4 instead of D2, because once you make the D2 Tanuki exchange, then what you're doing is you're basically making the next move in the corner a little slower than it would be otherwise. You're forcing your hand. Instead of playing D2, maybe Black wants to play D3. Maybe Black wants to start a ko with C3 if you have a lot of ko threats.
Yeah.
There's a lot of choices at Black's disposal, but Black is already committed to choosing one of those 3. Basically saying that this one is going to be the best one no matter what, which is just a bit naive, if you ask me. It's okay not to see that, but the important idea is when you play D2 and then go to J4, that means that you've already committed to choosing one of your options. You're closing off avenues whereby you can make different choices later in the game depending on the state of the board.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so that's actually a very excellent point. So let me just actually rephrase that. So what Mark was saying was that so Black could have played this and left the option of doing stuff in the corner, but instead he played a gote move at d2. This is not small. I mean, this is not definitely not small territorial wise, but White has Tanuki, which is a big deal since there's actually a Joseki unfinished on the right side, and I don't see this as the best time for Black to Tanuki. So oh, actually, you actually posted the variation. So yeah, that and that, yeah, right. I feel like, yeah. So the first one will be a ko. Black goes into 3/3. White blocks. Black makes a ko, and alternatively, Black can choose to live in the corner and let White get some outside influence. I feel like that I feel like c3 is quite a big move if you ask me, because clearly there's no way for White to just let Black take the corner easily. For example, like c4, even though this seems to be a Joseki move here, White can not play this at the moment because Black would just get the entire corner, and okay, J4 does seem a little bit awkward. Maybe you should be at J3 or H4 somewhere, but White now needs an extra move on the left side. Otherwise, Black is gonna come from the from places like C9, C8 to put some pressure on White's group. So that's not going to be a possibility for White. But then again, if we look at what happened in the game, so as Mark said, Black is sacrificing this chance of actually going into the corner and actually exploring those possibilities by playing at C3. So White should take this chance now. He actually played at R13. It seems that White wants to get maximum control of the right side. And in fact, he has succeeded quite well. Black does have the Sente move at R5 in the future. So like that. So that is the Sente move, obviously. But yeah.
I wonder what motivated White to play at R13 instead of the usual approach.
Oh yeah. Well, normally he would just play at R. I don't know.
R14 it would be normal here.
Yeah. Right.
But I guess White must have been afraid of the pincer.
The Black could come in, right?
Well, I'm thinking that must be what White was thinking about.
Yeah.
But it seems to me that White could just jump here, b14 again, and after Black's move, then it seems like Black's right side is pretty it's coming under attack, you know.
So like that, right?
No, not like that actually, because it looks like Black can live. When oh, I see what you're doing. You're doing Black plays at R9 in your variation. I was imagining that Black plays this way.
Wait, I can't see.
In the variation.
Oh, so white
So black
plays.
would defend the
Okay.
corner, and then white slides down,
Yeah.
and black is in shambles on the right side. So maybe that's why you had black playing down there. But of course, if black doesn't play the Joseki move, defending the corner, then you know what that means, because as soon as white gets the first chance,
Right.
white can wrap around that corner.
So right now,
Something like 016
mm-hmm,
and surround it.
mm-hmm. Yeah. So like in my variation, if uh, I can almost say like uh, the 016, this move, I labeled A, and Q12. They're almost like Miai in the sense for white. If white gets A, you know what's gonna happen. He's going to just basically enclose black's star point stone, and that is not a pleasant position to be in if you're black. But if white gets B, Q12, that basically means he'll have a super good shape on the right side. With he can pretty much do anything he wants at this point. So if black plays at 16, okay, he has defended the corner for now, but white can play at Q12 first, and then he's got a super nice structure. He can either go into the corner at R3 now, or actually just keep harassing black at I don't know, M17 seems like a good choice for me.
Yeah, I'm thinking instead of 8, given that A and B are sort of Miai, maybe black doesn't want to make the commitment yet. Maybe black wants to try to lean on white with something like P7.
The ooh,
Yeah, take a look at that one.
never saw that one coming.
Well, you got to open your mind.
I feel like
No, it could be dangerous for both players. This would definitely start
yeah.
the first fight. The middle game would start after this, basically.
I feel like this will immediately just spark a fight. Obviously,
What is wrong with that? Yeah,
I mean, obviously, white could just like accept the challenge and say, okay, you want to start the fight? There we go, and here's what's gonna happen. Just one of the possible continuations. That's obviously possible. And let me check the camera. Yeah, so that's obviously possible, and I feel like white can also just basically take the corner. There's a funny feeling. White can do that. So if black is going to take
that's true.
these two stones, he better take them, right? Otherwise, what is P7 for, right? If he doesn't take the two stones, then for example, he lets them live in the corner. I would feel pretty comfortable for white. Now he can feel pretty justified to accept the challenge.
It is black Sunday though. That's the only flaw in that sort of pattern. Is that black has Sente.
But white lives pretty comfortably in the corner, right? And
Right, definitely.
And if you don't like that, you can say, okay, you want to force me into an uneasy position. I will force you into an uneasy position, or something like that. I feel like that's also an interesting move because black will need an extra move, or even like 2 extra moves to actually completely claim the corner plus the 2 white stones at P6 or R6. There's plenty of agi there, I would say, but right now he has to deal with the star point stone at Q6 for sure, because next move is gonna be death for black, and that's like 25 to 30 points of territory. And if white can capture that, it basically cancels out with what black has gained from P7, right?
It would be a big trade if black bends at 06 and sacrifices the 30 points in the corner to take 30 points of his own in the other corner. That would be a really scary way to play for both sides, I think. But it looks possible.
I feel like
If white kills off that corner, then black will seal off his own corner.
I
And
feel
it's
like
a giant trade.
I feel like slightly good for white because even after bend at 06, there's still the annoying R3 for white. It could be a possibility. So, but yeah. This is gonna be risky for a Rengo game because you never know what your team is thinking when you play that move.
Right.
Like, what are you doing here? Right.
Yeah, no, I think in a Rengo situation, maybe I wouldn't go for that one. But it looks fun.
So yeah, there are actually many variations which aren't Rengo friendly, because you might think of that as like a pretty good plan, but your teammate might not think so, and notice that players are obviously not allowed to talk during the game, so each person is on his or her own thinking, and if he or she doesn't feel like your plan is right, he or she just like switch to the alternate plan, which could basically destroy your your intentions. Right?
Yeah, but in the real game, white didn't play at R14. White played at R13.
Which turned out to be a good exchange, because black actually followed at R15, and well, okay, it made black's corner half solid, but white ended up pretty comfortably on the right side. And okay, black is playing at M17 at move 19. White jumps out, and black has to go back and defend the corner. I feel like he could have just like jumped out and cut white apart. Could be possible, right?
Yeah. If you want to attack the 017 group, then the normal idea would be to lean at Q13 and move out into the center at the same time you're trying to build power for the attack.
Q13. Yeah, so like this maybe?
Yeah, it looks possible. There's different ways you can go about it, I think.
So the ideal the ideal picture would be if black can get something here and trying to force white into like a single file path and then come back and defend. I feel like this won't be bad for him, but
it's always a bit painful to play second line moves in the first 30 moves of the game. It always feels a bit too early to me. Even a move like D2 is starting to look a bit early for me. So when I have to play second and first line moves in my own games, oftentimes I have to weigh carefully if that's really the biggest idea, or if I can afford to play something more active.
I feel like in this situation though is kind of a must, because if black doesn't do that, then in the future, white can either just like take the corner, or like at least reduce the corner at Q18, and or just cut black apart at Q14. I think that would be pretty tremendous, and it would be kind of hard for black to handle both of his groups. So I feel like at the moment is sort of a must for black. Okay, he has got two stones at Q16 and R15, but there's sort of like a directional, is that even a word? Directional bias. So he's focusing more on the right part of the corner, but not really like the left top-ish part of the corner. But
I don't know. I think in that position, I think I would continue trying to attack. Would that be wrong?
Uh-huh. Well, I feel like
Yeah, instead of 9, K14. Would that be
K14.
a bad move in this case? Do you feel black really ought to defend?
I feel like it's got to be something. It's gonna be a required move in the future because like after K 14, even though white seems to be the one sandwich in between. First of all, it's kind of hard to kill white. I wouldn't say white has like life and death trouble for now. And second, it's after white's been at N13, it just like stands out to me that there's gonna be like a cut point for
Right,
black.
then N11 would be the safest black move. Um,
And 11, yeah.
right, and I mean, it's just would it be a good idea to continue the attack, or what are the consequences of black omitting a move at Q18? That's what I'm really getting at.
So okay, that's
You know,
actually
what
a very
is
good question. So I feel like I feel there's nothing fundamentally wrong with like keeping attacking. I'm not saying like that will just cost you the game, but I feel like White should be fine as long as he just keeps hanging in there, and just like maintains his focus because
Mhm.
Black's top group isn't that strong if you ask me. Is okay. Uh it seems like settled for now, but there are weak points there like L16 in the future, or
Q14 is a weak point that may
yeah,
be active later.
and that stands out for sure after this, right? If Black plays at F17, then okay, right now White can just Hane at Q14. Now because Black has not played at R17 or not R17 what else Q18. He faces a dilemma here because if he fixes his central group and tries to make shape, then White will Q18 or even like I don't know if this works, but seems like a fierce option. This kind of thing
Hmm.
could happen, right? And
Right. I think black might be able to live in the corner after Q18, so white has to try something more severe.
mm, e- yeah, I feel okay. There's the cut. Yeah,
Um,
probably
yeah, I'm looking at for move 25, R14, or I guess you can play it at any time, really.
R14. Yeah, I'm just gonna be a Sente move. So, but
Right. I don't want to get too far down this trail. I'm more interested, for the sake of our viewers, in the general idea of, um, well, in this case, and also generally, how do you know when to continue an attack, and how do you know when to play your defense move, which is Gote?
well, I feel like you're always gonna look at the consequences, like after what you're doing. So if you start like if you initiate a running attack, then you're just gonna okay, you're gonna keep your eyes on your opponent, but you're just gonna just like focus on your own shape just to make sure that nothing is going wrong. Because if your opponent doesn't die and you have weaknesses, it's going to be a pretty epic comeback for your opponent, but not a pleasant situation for you. So in this
Hmm.
case, if you want to keep attacking, you do have to pay attention to like the point at Q14. So I guess like a
Right.
more sweeping generalization is, uh, attack your opponent, but also make sure that you are doing okay. Your groups are all right. They're strong. They're solid. Usually like usually you can attack with full confidence when your groups are like very strong and they're alive and they're doing well, and you're in that case your opponent is obviously like the more miserable one. But in this case, it's kind of like a 50-50. Both black and white are kind of weak. If you ask me.
Right. No,
Okay.
thanks for looking at that.
Okay, so let's see what people think. Someone strong I know says the first person to play on the second line loses. Loco said that. D2 must be a bad move then.
Oh, but the strongest, the highest ranked player in the world right now plays in the second line, and at that time, he plays D2 a lot.
Would be interesting. Maybe it's time for another April Fool's joke next year. Just like, just make a special algorithm that determines that detects second line moves. And oh, I just spoiled it. Damn it. So if you play a second line move, then OGS just like changes color to like red or something. Just gives you that. It gives you the feel of a fire drill.
Oh, that's nicer than what I was thinking. I was thinking algorithm that detects the second line move and then awards the win to your opponent by resignation. Just auto resignation.
Yeah, but I feel like
They would be true invasive.
yeah, it would be too much of a neighborhood joke. People will be angry. Like, why is this happening? And the mouse will be busy for sure. Let's see what happened in the game. Black. Okay, black. Attached. I wonder why it didn't capture at Q12 there. But okay, he extended like a Sente, capturing that stone. Okay, now his corner is pretty comfortable. Notice that he did not continue attacking
Wait,
white.
what pronouns are we using? This is a Rengo game. It's not he, it's they.
Ah, well, okay. I just grew normal to using like he or she for black and white. But okay.
Oh yeah, that's fine. If you want to use he and she for black and white, that's something I do too. I just thought that
Oops.
you'd be using they in this case because it's plural players, and that's something that's exciting.
It's a good point. Well, yeah. Okay, let's try that. Take two. So, uh, should I should I should I use half then?
Oh, this is a peep. That is
Oh,
interesting.
the peeping xhu98. Ooh, I'm seeing a lot of fighting spirit here.
Does it work? Because white can connect through
I feel
both
like
ways.
just this, right? Okay, that's what happened in the game.
I really like white's move 30. The more I look at it, the more I like it. Who played that move? Was it Moss?
I think it was Herbie.
It was Herbie?
Yeah.
No way.
Herbie was playing.
Yeah, move 10. Yeah, go Herbie.
Yeah, that was excellent.
Yeah, it's good sense of direction. It's a natural extension of the wall that white is starting to build from the right side.
Yeah. Oh, and okay. Pardon me if I just use he for like for all the moves.
No, knock yourself out. Don't let me stop you.
I just grew used to it, but yeah. I think Herbie played pretty well here. Uh, her choice of probing moves is great, and I feel like I myself will probably respond at M16 as well. I might even just cut after like 015 because I have such a uh I don't want to say fighting spirit. I just don't want to. I just don't want to get pinned down by my opponent.
I think I'd be inclined 12 after that.
What?
I'd be inclined to play Q12 here
12.
and start to move that group out for a larger scale attack.
Oh yeah, that could be possible. Well, white would Hane at Q11, right?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Is that good? I'm not sure.
It's kind of hard for black to move out already. So, and white is getting pretty comfortable on the outside. So, I don't think it's gonna be like a target worthy of attacking anymore.
Yeah, maybe you're right. Okay, I wouldn't do that exchange. I
So,
think instead I'd be looking more at Tanukis then.
yeah.
Either C14 or N6 or something else big.
Oh yeah, that's a good point. C14 is definitely one top choice here,
Yeah, N6 is nice too, in my opinion.
and 6. Yeah. So it's kind of like a sort of like a fighting spirit thing. It's called Ki. Uh, it's usually used in taekwondo or like judo or like Chinese martial arts. When there are a lot of parallels. Um, usually when your opponent strikes a blow, the fighting spirit is to strike back instead of just like defending. So in this case, N6 or like C14 would be good counterattack moves. So basically saying that, okay, you're giving me a hard time with this L16. It's a good move, but I'm going to strike back somewhere else. So like C14 and N6 would be excellent choices.
There's plenty of others too.
Yeah,
But I think the one I would choose in the game would be C14.
yeah. I sort of favor C14 over N6 because N6 is pretty large, but it doesn't give like white immediate pressure. But I mean, you kind of have to respond as white after C14, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So there's that.
I mean, what are you going to do? You're going to cut L17 right away and tell black that he's wrong, that they're wrong for surrounding you on the corner? Because the
Nah.
corner's bigger than the side territory for sure.
Yeah. I mean, you're you're not gonna get a lot from immediately playing L17, right? So
Right. White still needs another move to kill that Blackstone, and if you
yeah,
do that, then black gets the third move against the corner.
yeah, and pretty much paralyzes black white's D16 still. But okay, let's see. Oh, so black did play that. Wait, did you see that coming?
No, I didn't.
Wow.
That was my invention.
Well, oh, and I saw that coming as well. I promise to everyone watching right now, I did not see this move before reviewing this game.
Well, it's a natural move. Everyone above 15 Q is going to play that one.
Yeah, I'm just joking. But yeah, the Tane seems like the natural response, right? Wait, hold on a second. Uh,
Yeah, black's kind of got to connect at L17 now, because white's cut is starting to look pretty threatening.
yeah. Maloko asks, C14 would end in Gote, which would give white L18 for free. Oh, yeah, so that's what we were saying earlier. So white definitely could have cut that stone, but C14 is larger because it approaches white's top left corner and threatens to take it if white does not respond. And if you compare the worst of the M17 stone to that entire corner, it's pretty evident that white will not be taking L17 immediately after C14. Black country cut. Okay. As white, I'll probably Atari at P12 first, and then do this. It doesn't make a lot of difference. So okay, so white captured. Another option for white, by the way, is to just push at L17. This will either capture the two black stones at M17 and M16, or just do more damage to the black stones at G17 and K17. So like these two groups here.
I think forward was kind of a questionable.
Wait, what?
Because it doesn't threaten black, and white's already connected before that, so it seems like you're using a move that has no effect on black.
Yeah, it's just like an empty Panuki, if you ask me. It's just like one single capture, right?
Right, that's kind of how I feel about it, and it's not even an I, because if black pushes at P15 later, then N17 and P17 are MI for knocking out the I, so it's not even very stable.
And black realized that actually, so I think this was Cullen here.
Yeah, I think black pulled ahead here after this exchange.
L17, yeah. So white needs an extra move on the top left corner. Okay, he played at E17. I feel like I myself will probably play at some like D14 somewhere. So like more on the left side than the top side. I would feel worried about black C14 after.
Which is what happened in the game.
Ooh, wow. I did not see that. So this is, wow, this is sort of like, almost like the top right corner situation reenacted. So, the two teams started a battle.
Let's see. I think that back in the prior position, I'd be more inclined to play a large knight instead of the one space jump, because black approached with a large knight. Back at 44.
44. Yeah?
Yeah, respond here with a large knight at C13 instead of white E17. For the white player. I'm sorry.
Oh, for a white player.
Right. You
like
said
here,
you
right?
like D14. I think I'd go with this one because black approached with a large knight.
Like that?
Well, black can continue however black likes.
Oh, yeah.
But I mean, I've seen this one is more common when black makes the larger approach.
That's a good point, actually. Yeah, the problem with D14 is that black might have C12, which is annoying.
Black can also hit 3/3 whenever black likes.
Yeah.
Right now, I think that if you played the one space jump, black could even hit C8 and pressure the lower side, and then come back and hit c12, and then you're just alternating your attacks, and you're giving black control of the game for the next several moves.
Well, so you're suggesting this?
And then black comes to c, yeah, like this kind of variation.
That's gonna be pretty rough. Or white might counter at c10, right?
That's a nice idea.
So I mean, if you're gonna jump out, then white can defend at c3. Or
Oh, then you have to know how to live with that corner group.
like that, yeah. So I mean,
Well, that's another game.
yeah, I don't feel like white's gonna die there, but here,
No, white's not going to die. But the question is, how many points will white lose trying
Yeah.
to not die?
then again, you have to think about what game we're playing here. We're here with like 2 players on each side, not just one. So
Oh, do tell.
I feel like when I play in Rengo mode, I just leave out too complicated sequences. I just try to simplify the situation. Because like, it if the game just like, if the game becomes a fight, which you and I will have to spend like 30 minutes just like discussing all the possible variations, is probably not going to be good for a Rengo game.
Sure. You see one of those variations here?
I feel like maybe not 30 minutes, but considering that both sides have 45 minutes each, you probably want to spend that time for like the later part of the game, just like
yes,
or
sure.
like distribute the time evenly, so you'll be looking comfortable into the end game if necessary.
Well, you're not spending 30 minutes on one move, that's for sure.
Yeah, but still, you don't want to spend like too much time on one move.
But that goes for all players of all levels.
Uh-huh.
Don't do too much of anything, actually. Free life advice, courtesy of me.
Well, unless you're Honimbo Shusaku, you can just like think about one move for 8 hours.
No, it's implied in the word too much. That just means that 8 hours was not too much for Haninbo Shusaku.
And then you think about it for so long, your opponent's ears become red.
Oh, please no.
And he's just thinking like, please, just make your move, like right now. Alright, so
Yeah, my correspondence games, the players always take like an entire day to think about their moves. It's crazy.
you sure
I'm just kidding.
you sure they sit in front of the computer all day long? Just think about
Well, they
your
must, because they come up with these brilliant moves that I'd never think about, and that makes my ears turn red.
game.
So I think that the only logical conclusion is that they're sitting at their computer for at least 8 hours.
Oh well. And on one game.
Yeah, I think that's why you're so busy, because you spend so much time thinking about how to respond to my moves.
I have like 50 odd correspondence games or something. I have 50 odd or like 60 odd games. Maybe that number has decreased over time, but with people signing, but still a lot of games.
Is Black in trouble here?
I think so, because he's he's throwing in another stone at a d8. The intentions are good. I just feel like the top left black group isn't entirely alive. Oh, Calvin Tin said the first 80 moves of the game took an hour. Yeah, the first 80 moves I would say are pretty important. But
Yeah.
I think
I
up
think.
to yeah, go ahead.
Oh yeah. Instead of, I question Black's decision to make another group here when the
Mm-hmm.
top left is so weak.
Yeah, you see
If it
that
were my
there.
game, I'd be more inclined to move the black group out. I think the diagonal is probably the most natural move to move out, but I wouldn't think about making another pincer attack really. Right here, F11 for
Uh,
black.
yeah.
Yeah, just move out in a solid way. Save yourself some heartache in the future.
I feel like
But in the
it'll also
oh,
be
go ahead.
yeah. It'll also be good to make a base or like at least increase your eye space on the second line. Okay, it's a second line move, but uh,
Oh, you
it
lose.
I've lost this game already a long time ago. I'm just playing for fun now.
April
Um,
Fools.
um, but I feel like if you can solve that problem just like from the root of it, and I literally mean it because it's like the second line. It's literally like the root of the group. If you can resolve the situation right here, it would be sort of like the best option
Yeah,
in
I like this way.
in my opinion. If you can live locally, it saves you a lot of effort to like actually jump out and allow white to do stuff on the outside such as like F9, because if you insist F11, then white will just like basically F9 and possibly F5 in the future, and now you see that small rectangle of territory just
Oh,
shaping
interesting.
up, right?
Yeah, I like this way because if black can live locally, then it activates the clamp at B9, which can grant black at least two free moves on that side in preparation to attack the D4 group. That could be pretty severe.
Right. And moreover, once you actually live this group, let's say white tanukis would be good tanuki. Okay, let's just play one random move here. So in the future, um, there's a little bit of an agi I want to say. Okay, you might argue that this is like a four done thing. It's really nasty. Four done people are not nice, but I
Well, that's
just
not a four down move. Everybody knows a peep.
well I mean like the variation tree after the peep. So like I just have a feeling that there's gonna be sort of agi there, and if black can somehow make a group uh here, it will just basically split white apart and possibly put some more pressure on the two white stones in the bottom left corner. Now notice that this is completely different from what happened in the game because right now black is alive, so his group is settled instead of in danger. In this case, what happened in the game? Um, okay, this group is not alive right now, right? For black, I mean. What? Cal played. Oh, that was Callender's move. No wonder. See my very. Uh,
Oh, that was in response to
oh yeah,
Noloko's question.
yeah.
He's
So if white plays at B15, black will just defend at C15. He'll be fine
right.
there. So,
Right, it
but
doesn't really remove black's eye space.
but in this case, the situation is a lot more dangerous. And whoa. Okay. White b8. An okay move under circumstances. The intention is clear. White is trying to connect his group or their group together with the bottom left corner. Now this is looking very dangerous for white. Right?
Yeah, I think linking under at 90 was pretty painful. And I don't think white can afford to cut at 92 really either. It's pretty hard for white in just a few moves.
Yeah. I feel like he should be okay though because he's already connected at b8. It's a second line connection, but it really is the best. It is one of the best one that works. One of the best connection that works, and now.
Well, I'm worried about what happens if black plays a different move other than 95. If black defends if black defends the cut instead of 95, then white could be in trouble. Like h11.
H11. Then
right. And black can still cut. If white descends to g8 or something, then black can cut.
Right, so that would not work for white. Oh.
Right, but I think the players missed that sequence in the game.
I feel like white will follow at h9 first, forcing black to play at g8, and well, okay. But I see what they're saying. This is like dangerous for white actually. He only has 3 liberties, so it's gonna be quite a struggle for him to like fight his way out.
Exactly, that's kind of what I was looking at here.
Yeah.
But in the game, black played what they thought was safe, and white came back with a really nice move. It's g11. Because moving the stone out would be, well, that would be just as dangerous as what we just looked at.
Yeah.
So the choice to sacrifice the stone, no, they didn't actually sacrifice it either. Neither player wanted that stone.
Well, well, is that, if you think about it, is the only option they had at the time, right?
Right, no choice.
They can't just give the group away. Okay, even though this bottom dash center region seems pretty large, it's kind of hard to convince anyone that sacrificing what, like a 40 point group or like even 45 point group, it's hard to convince anyone that sacrificing that group is a good choice. So it really is the only option for black. He has to fight for his life, and this is looking pretty painful for black at the moment. Notice that black can actually not kill white's top right group at the moment. Because first of all, he is entangled in the dragon business. Second, even after he connects his dragon, I don't think white will have trouble with living the group, right? Or you can just Tanuki. So black would play that.
Yeah, I like this for black a lot.
Oh, the variation?
Right. Your variation here.
Okay. Well, yeah. That would be a nice element for Black's Dragon, I guess. He's like nicely connected. Well, right now I'm just looking at the possibility of killing this group, but doesn't seem like it. Black will have to defend that. Okay, yeah. So White's will be fine there. But the thing is, White does get one extra move at N6, where you have more aggressively at N3 if he really wants to disrupt Black's bottom side. Black has spent like 5 moves on the bottom side, and if White just invades, it's going to be okay, not easy, but pretty much a headache for Black. At least a head scratcher, I would say. It doesn't seem to me that White will be easily killed under the circumstances.
Yeah, I made a variation in response to Moloko. He wanted to know about this Ko. I think it's probably not a great idea.
Nah. Well, White will not play the Ko. Sorry.
No, but the question is
why.
why.
Oh yeah.
Well, this is the reason. It looks scary. I don't even think I'd give this much thought in the game.
Yeah. So I mean, right now, obviously, Black cannot connect, right? Well, maybe he can, but I mean, if he connects, it's gonna be a pretty terrible shape at the very least, right?
Well, you're not gonna connect. You're gonna play where you played.
Yeah, but then again, this goes back to this variation, and there isn't much difference in winning the Ko or not for Black, because White's left side group is connected, settled. White's center is gonna be more than okay. So even after, I mean, this code doesn't even matter. Will just not matter anymore. Black will still have to connect, and White can either follow at L11 or do even more. Right? So creating the code is kind of pointless for Black.
Right. He was also thinking of creating the Ko this other way.
Oh, well, that's
I think this is even worse because White still has to connect after the Ko.
I feel like that's a little bit risky for White, though.
Yeah, it's tremendously risky.
So if White wants to, yeah.
But I mean, how do you tell that it's risky when it's in your game? I mean, it's obviously risky to you and me, but how do you show other players that it's risky? Like, what are the dangers in this position?
Oh, I think, well, if we go with this variation, I just connect. Because White cannot cut, right?
Right, because you can ladder the lower group.
Yeah. So if I have this, well, or I can just like keep the Ko. I don't think Black will be too afraid of playing the Ko because he has a lot of Ko threats, and he really has like a ton of local Ko threats just from like playing at age 12, and then this and that and that, and or okay, maybe that one's a little bit damaging, and this one. So at least he has like three, 4 local threats. I don't think he'll be afraid of this co. And if white loses, it will basically the losing this co will basically threaten the 3 central white stones, which are huge. So if black captures these 3 stones, it will help him with building a central Moyo. Right?
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, I won't recommend that option for white. But it seems like white can be just fine with connecting, right? But hopefully,
Connecting is natural.
yeah, but hopefully that answers your question. Actually, I should look at the Twitch chat as well.
Looks like it did.
Yeah. All right. So hopefully it made sense there.
But it seems to me that black got a pretty big advantage after this.
Oh yeah.
I mean, this is all
Oh,
good for
he
black.
made it. He made it into the center.
Mhm.
That's even better.
Yeah,
Now,
it's a really good result for black. I think black is winning by almost 20 points now.
yeah, that's the thing. Like, if we do a quick count, then black has a great deal of territory on the bottom side, and then a solid top right corner, and then a modest top, and if the dragon survives, then it seems to me that he's got more than white, right?
Yes.
So in the going to the end game phase, I would expect him to get R5 or something like that. It's gonna be a really big move. But let's see what happened in the game. So white started a co. I don't know if that's necessary because white could just Atari there, right? So earlier at G18. I don't think there's an option for black to play at F18 because that would be very bad.
Well, it lives, but black is separated, and you have to live with both parts,
Yeah, so
which is not possible.
yeah, so well the one of the groups lives, but the other group dies, which is not a good thing. So I don't know if that's necessary. If white wants to take these 2 stones, he can just do it that way. But maybe he's but maybe he's looking for. He's looking for more. Maybe he's looking for. Yeah, that's what I thought. Because like, if white wants to kill black, then this is not the way to go. Because black clearly has the Atari at J15, which will solve the problem. Yeah, so exactly that just black just captured the 2 white stones. Do you think is a good move for black to just like cut white here at J9?
For 133.
Yeah. Or do you think it's too dangerous?
Hmm. That's a good question. What was wrong? What black played in the game, though?
Black
I think I would be inclined to go the other direction and lean on M9
and 9.
and just try to make shape
Mm-hmm.
in the center with something like this.
Um.
And
Okay.
then it would make the cut a little more severe if you were to try to do that.
Yeah. But what about white G7?
It's a pretty nice move. Obviously, it disconnects black's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 stones. But
I mean, does it work?
well, black pushes out to H8. White follows it, and black cuts. White cuts.
All right.
And is this something that's playable for black?
I feel like, well, he has at least 4 liberties, so he should be able to do a lot.
Right. White has 2 running groups and has to
Yeah.
capture black first.
I feel like that would be kind of hard for white. Oh, okay, maybe this cut will not like capture black, but if that's true, then I think this is totally doable. As long as black's mark stones are alive, he should be fine with the attachment at M9.
Right. So it seems a little weird, but attaching at M9 actually helps to defend the cut because it enables the ladder to go better for you in that part of the board. But this move kind of protects that cut too. Maybe it's
Yeah.
more direct than the other one.
Okay, so white did do that, but he got this incentive, and that's when I that's when I came into the game room and watched. And black actually took one extra move to defend his bottom turf. Uh, it's kind of dangerous, but I mean it's kind of dangerous, but worth a gamble, I would say. I wouldn't want black to I wouldn't want white to step into my territory at like L4, but it seems that black is really taking a risk here. Wait, what? Okay. Yeah, I think we're going to wrap this up in about 15 minutes too.
Does L10 look dangerous to you?
Uh, oh, 10.
I don't want a mistake.
I feel like if I were playing as white, then I would just connect because I'm not sure whether black can get oh well he actually can just live there.
Right.
It won't be a
And that's what I'm thinking of doing for move 147, just preemptively living. Because
yeah.
that group had a lot of problems later on.
So like that. Well, that's That's just one of the eyes. Right? So,
Hmm.
but I think, but I think, but I think, if, but I think L10 is a good move. Uh, and if white connects, I mean, it's definitely acceptable for me as white, but black will just live, and I'm not sure if white has that amount of territory to counter black's bottom side. You
Well,
got
how does L10 compare with the crosscut at N10?
the crosscut. Well, I'd say white would play this first. Well, okay, black is not gonna connect. Don't do that. Don't do that. um, he's gonna do that. But then again, that raises the possibility of a kill.
Why can't black connect?
What?
Um, well, you Atari at in the variation above
Um,
at 4.
wait, F.
Well, no, you play you connect at L11. You play N9, and then black extends the stone. And why is that a bad variation for black? I missed it.
Wait, this one? Well,
Yeah, I mean, why you said that was a bad variation for black?
well, this one won't give black any eyes in the center, right? And even though A11 is a Sente move, it doesn't
Well,
give black
you can cut down at K7.
A7.
Right, I'm looking to fight out after this.
Well, let's see. Okay,
Yeah, I just want to know if this fight
if you do
works.
K7, then okay, this is Sente, right?
Yeah, for sure.
And that is Sente. So what I'm doing is basically trying to fix that cut point at D7 because I don't want black to cut me apart there. So
D7. Oh, right.
because if I do this, I can't do that because if I do H6, then
Oh no, don't do
terrible.
that.
That's terrible.
But when white plays at F5 in your former variation,
F5. Uh, yeah.
then black makes the Atari at K5 and tries to chase the group that way, I
Well,
guess.
then I can just connect at
Oh,
N6,
is it
right?
just gonna die?
Because if black doesn't if black can't not make two eyes in the top left, he dies, right?
Right.
Because he clearly cannot make an eye at E13. So if this doesn't work, uh he dies. Right? Notice
Yes.
notice that for one quick thing, uh oh, and Moloko just posted the variation. We'll get to that. Or to do. Okay.
Yeah, N6 was a good move on your part. I didn't see that. It looks like the fight isn't going to be very successful.
Well, I feel like J5 was the key move. J5 and F5. They were just like
Right, those are hard to see.
yeah, not very Ringo friendly. Yeah, but it, oh, you're actually okay. This is actually pretty tricky for a team of two.
Right,
Well,
I mean that's what I was looking at first. Is there something here?
it's difficult for just like one dumb player, let alone a team of two, right?
Living locally is obviously better. It's safer for sure.
This,
But if it's not a possibility, does this work? You know. Those are the questions that you have to ask.
Yeah. Well, yeah. That's one of the things I was suggesting earlier. Like, if you could live locally, wouldn't that just be the best thing? Because like right now we're here with all these problems, and none of this would have happened if Black had just like locally lived that group earlier. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. No, it's good. Thanks for entertaining me.
um, but I think the game is even more entertaining. Like we're seeing a Ko here, and and by the way, that's looking dangerous for White because Black can just do that, right? It seems that White is shattered. Right?
Mm-hmm.
So, 150 is a mistake.
For 149, why didn't Black play M9?
No. Well, I think that would be the normal continuation. I think it makes sense. So Black would just like go. Black would just go out, but let's actually see. Well, oh, yeah. Well, what about White? L11. He's aiming
Oh,
at it.
just taking the Ko?
Yeah. Because the Ko at K12 will be fatal for Black if he loses it.
Yeah, you'd have to fill it.
But
Then you lose your eye.
I think they would just that would just basically mean a Ko just right from there. But it seems like Tin's move at 149 actually was that Tin's move? Yeah. It actually worked pretty nicely. It forced White into a mistake. And I think Cal could have just won the game from there because if Black gets this, then White will have to live there. And now
it's game over.
It's game over, right?
Yes.
Exactly. So there's one chance there. Okay, we're going to wrap this up in about 5 minutes. Because I actually want to see what happened near the end. I want to cover this. But I feel like Black should have just defended there, and it would be a win for him like easily, right? He'll be winning by like I don't know 10 to 15 points. I didn't count, but territorial wise, he seems pretty okay. Okay, White might defend that corner, but Black has stuff on the red side, which will reduce White and earn him points, like this. So all of that is Sente, and all of this is Sente, something like this, and all of that is Sente. White will have to respond, otherwise his top left group is dead. I think it should be pretty fine for Black, in my own opinion, but
mine too.
But in the game, okay, that was a good move. 168, trying to stir something up in Black's territory, and in fact, it should work. Or does it? Okay, maybe it does. Yeah, definitely. So that's a good move. Before I move on, I actually want to see if there are any questions. We can move on to the end.
Doesn't look like it.
Kel and I are clearly in disagreement about the priority. But wait. You are not allowed to talk. Okay. Well, I just have faith in them. But yeah. Let's see what they say. Anyways. Oh, okay. I thought you guys were like verbally arguing with each other. Mark said, why didn't Black do this? Wait, which move? Cal says N9 maybe? Wait, is that the move you suggested? That was... N9. Wait, no, I mean, I mean, Black just captured this, right? Wait, Mark, you're still there?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Oh, okay. You're just watching the. You're just listening to the drama, basically. All right. But before we move on to the end, I actually want to see this this version by Moloko. I have to text him. This we might not have time for question, but hopefully you are enjoying this game commentary so far. Yeah, turns out that there's a lot to learn and a lot to talk about. Like, you can pick any game and just talk through it and learn a lot of stuff from it. So, this actually echoes the useful tip that every game is like a treasure. You can just look deep into it and just like take it very seriously, and you can learn a lot from it. Like, and I would say like learning a lot from one game is better than just like playing 10 games and not looking into them. So I feel like this is good conversation. This is really good. And Loco says so this will look dangerous. I feel like more dangerous for white because like he has this group which he needs to handle, and in the future Black
We
has
looked at this a
what?
while ago, I think. We
Yeah.
looked at this a while ago, I think. That comment's 30 minutes old.
Yeah.
Or 20 minutes.
But yeah, I just wanted to cover it real quick. But anyways, should be. So, what was dramatic though, near the end of the game was that Black's corner actually died. In the bottom left, I thought that would change the outcome of the game, because that obviously, if you just like look at this square, it's almost like it's almost like a 6x6 square, and all of a sudden it's like it seems like White is going to take it. Now I'm wondering if Black can live in this corner, but and I think a lot of people have asked this question, but my answer to that is, even if he lives, this is going to be pretty bad for Black. Like just like the sensation of having your territory severely reduced. It's sort of like a bad feeling going into the end game. And even if Black lives in the corner, he can only live half of it, and White's gonna take the top part still. So I thought that was pretty interesting, but I think up to this point it should have been a one game for White. But that's the drama of Rengo. You never know what's gonna happen next. You have two because you have two players and on each side, and you just never, without talking to each other, you just never know what's going on in the other person's mind. And that could be crucial. In terms of the game. So
I think White was probably winning until 256, if you want to put a hard move number on it.
Yeah, but okay. For example, here's the first sign of White making a mistake. But he should still be fine, because okay, 202 is relatively small compared to this. This would just be like White wins plus resignation, but he should still be fine there. And it was pretty routine up to here. I think. Oh, this is it. I think so. The question is, after this move, can White Tanuki and just like live there? This seems pretty tricky. Because the thing is, like, White cannot actually Atari at E6.
No, that White can't afford to do this because of the drop to F2. I think Black has too much territory, and Black can live.
Yeah, right. But I feel like, okay, here's what I think White should have done. Just like capture this. So Black has to connect, right? And now to live this group. Because I don't see a way for
Right,
White.
that would be very clear.
Yeah, right. So
Easy White win after this.
just basically trying to reduce the agi, because like I mean, it just feels right after after capturing this stone. If you're White, it just feels right. It just feels good. It just feels better than this. And right now you might be thinking, okay, he's like captured this stone. I have to spend one extra move here maybe, right? It just doesn't feel as good as like capturing comfortably at D5 and saying, okay, here's my group. It's rock solid. Nothing can disturb this. And okay, he has to connect now. I can live, and nothing can disturb that group. Okay, he dies, and then I win. So that's clear. That's a more pleasant mindset, if you ask me.
Yeah,
Than
I think if White did
this.
that, White clearly wins, and I think that was probably White's last chance to win.
Yeah, and that is now. This is not so sure for White now, right? So, but
Yeah. Definitely clouded.
definitely clouded, and so right now, well, it just feels like psychologically it would have made a difference, even like just like apart from the game itself. Psychologically, it would be much different because both sides are running low on time, and Black was Black came into Byoyomi a long time ago, but as White's time is is running out, he's going